What is going on, Drew? Back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the MLB draft. Now, the draft was a lot of fun and obviously concluded yesterday with round 20 finishing, and we have all the picks in. Everyone got in, everyone's got their pick value, so let's talk about it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, besides like analyzing each pick, because we would be here all day, I kind of want to just go off the high school shortstop angle of this, because I know a lot of people were talking about this on Twitter and online in general, of why we've seen so many high school shortstops, or just shortstops in general, get picked early in the rounds. Because obviously pitchers, everyone needs pitching, right? I mean, it's kind of a league problem, right? I feel like there's a lot of teams and not enough pitchers. So obviously you see the pitchers going early in the draft, but a lot of the shortstops, the first non-shortstop we had was Ethan Conrad at 17 with the Cubs. So that was really interesting to see kind of how this developed with some of these early teams picking a shortstop. We're definitely going to talk about that, especially, but a lot of the pitchers I liked. I mean, if you want my best pick in the draft, honestly, besides Kane Anderson, because he was by far, I think, the best player for me, I think the next best pitcher was probably Jamie Arnold, which the A's guy. I love the A's draft. They had a phenomenal draft. But like looking at the shortstop angle, I definitely thought if you're taking a high school shortstop, Ethan Holiday would definitely be the best player for sure. But we see Ethan Willis was the first one to go. The Nationals really liked that kid, so he ended up going. I really like this kid on Miami too. I thought he was the best college shortstop, so I'm glad to see he went early for the first shortstop from a college. I mean, playing at Oregon State was phenomenal. So yeah, definitely want to talk about this angle and kind of how this works. So basically, a lot of people know the college guys, right? Because they've seen them play a 60-game season. You might have seen them play at the College World Series. You might have seen, right, for example, Gage Wood when he threw the no-hitter, right? He went to the Phillies right here. So you might have seen a kid like that. Or you might see a Chase Lovett with Texas A&M. He was actually ranked #1 before the season started. Didn't have the best campaign, and he goes at 27. So there you go. So we kind of know how the college guys are getting up here, right? They just play good at college, right? But a lot of the high school kids, I feel like a lot of people don't know their journey, and I kind of want to explain that for you guys. Because basically how it works when you get into high school, right? If you're good, by the way, because I think a lot of people have played high school baseball. Myself, I wasn't good though compared to these guys. So just keep that in mind. If you're good, you have a chance to be invited to Team USA's baseball team, right? We can take a look. We're on the world rankings for the World Baseball Softball Confederation. This is all the rankings for the World Baseball Classic, right? How you actually get points in this whole system is by playing these tournaments, right? So we can see right here, right? We have, you know, a 12U tournament in 21. We have a 15U tournament in 2022. We have an 18U tournament in 2021. 18U tournament here, 12U tournament, 12U tournament, 18U tournament, 18U tournament, and 12U tournament right here. So you can obviously see where these are coming in. Obviously the 15 and 18 are going to be massive for the high school guys, right? And that's where these guys have played at Team USA baseball, right? Or if you play for another country, you have also played in that tournament. You know what I mean? This is just the US we're looking at in points, but you know, every single country is usually in these tournaments. Like we could take a look at Mexico's points, for example. They have a 23U tournament, a 12U, they have the 18U tournaments, the 15U tournaments. So a lot of these countries are playing in these tournaments, and that's where a lot of these kids get recognition, right? Is playing in these tournaments, getting invited to these tournaments, and playing in other countries and getting their name out there. And a lot of scouts go to these tournaments. You guys would be surprised, especially because they get young talent and because there are points on the line for the World Baseball Classic. So that's another reason as well. So they're basically big tournaments. That's the main thing you have to see from that. And then we have the draft combine. You can get invited to the draft combine if you're, you know, that high on the rankings and everything like that. That's where a lot of high school guys will show off their talent and show off their skills. And that is a huge factor for these high school guys getting up there. So that's basically like how it works as a high school baseball player. You basically play your high school season, you can get invited to these tournaments, you get invited to the draft combine, and that's pretty much how it goes. And that's why a lot of these kids are going up so high. I think another main factor of that is, especially from the shortstop angle, is shortstop is usually the most athletic position across the diamond. And you see this a lot with a lot of guys. They'll take a high school shortstop and then they'll move him later. We've seen this with multiple players. Onel Cruz is a big example of that. Drafted as a shortstop, moves him to center field now. We've seen this with Jazz Chisholm. Play second base, play center field. Now he's playing third base. So you see this a lot throughout the league, with multiple different players moving all the way around the diamond. I mean, take a guy like Mookie Betts, played right field for most of his career, and now he's playing shortstop, right? So there's so many different players across the league that have moved positions and it still play it fine. It's just shortstop tends to be the position where you're the most athletic to fill your position, so you could be moved later. I think that's what it is. I think you take the best available player and then he happens to play shortstop. I think that's what it is most of the time, because I'm pretty sure almost every team took a shortstop. Like that's like the biggest reason on why that was so prevalent in this year's draft, is simply because they're the best overall player. You can pick him, you can move him later. We've seen that with multiple players. I mean, I think even Volpe was going to play third base at one point, or second base when he was coming up. So yeah, it's a very interesting angle on why the high school shortstops have been picked the most. But I know a lot of fans get mad at that. Like, you know, their team takes a high school shortstop. They're like, what are we doing, right? I think it's because they're the best overall player. I mean, there's like teams that didn't take that route. For example, if we pull up the A's, I don't think they took a lot of high school players. They took a lot of college guys, which they were the rare team to actually do that. I think they took only a handful of high school guys. We could see them with the 12th round. They took this kid out of high school, but all their picks were basically college guys. So a couple of teams are not following that traditional route that we've seen across the league. So that's definitely something to think about when you're looking at some of your franchises picks and everything like that. They went with all college guys, and I actually love this angle from the A's. But yeah, I do think the A's actually had a pretty solid draft. I really like Jamie Arnold. I thought he was a really good player, honestly. Really thought he was one of the best pitchers that they could have drafted. So I like their angle of picking all college guys. I think that was a really good strategy. Then the second team I just wanted to mention was the Orioles, just because they had so many picks. I mean, you just take a look at how many picks this team actually had. It's really insane from all the guys that left and everything. So they had a ton of picks. They did go with like 2 catchers right here. So we'll kind of see what happens with the Orioles catching position. It is an interesting topic to talk about because I don't know if they're going to trade Adley Rutschman when these guys come up. It's definitely something interesting to talk about. They did have, like 6 guys start at catcher this year because all the injuries. So I will say Caden is probably one of the best players, from a swing side in this draft. I really liked him at Coastal Carolina. So I think he's definitely going to be a good player on that side. But yeah, they just had a ton of players get drafted. I mean, from all over the country, from high school, college. So definitely impressive draft from the Orioles. We'll see what they can do with all this talent. I think the next big question is, where do we see these guys get to the league? Like, how quick does it take? Because if we go to last year's draft, for example, we can kind of see some of these guys, how quick they got to the league, right? I mean, we take a look at Nick Kurtz. He was 4th in the draft, and he's playing in the MLB, and he's an all-star. He's a great player. So we'll kind of wait and see how quick some of these guys can get. Obviously, Jack Caglione's now playing with the Royals, so he's been phenomenal for them. Some of these other guys are getting pretty close, but we'll kind of see. Chase Burns, another one that finally got in there. A lot of these guys are coming up super, super quick nowadays, and we'll kind of see how quick it takes some of these players to get up there. Obviously, with a lot of the high school players, it might take a little bit longer, but you never know. I definitely think Cade Anderson is a good one to start. I think a lot of pitchers could, like Jamie Arnold could definitely start. Even a guy like Gage Wood, I think he could be great in that Phillies bullpen. So we'll kind of just wait and see. But that's my thoughts on the draft. What is your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.